Marooned on Triton.
Hello, Internet, and welcome back to more Space Engineers Marooned on Triton. So, last episode, what did we do? Really, all we did was build a cargo container and nearly explode. So, yeah, it was exciting, I guess. We did find some binoculars from whoever mysteriously is supplying us and helping us in this endeavor. Yeah, that's kind of it. So, I guess today we'll be using that cargo container to try and actually move all this junk into the base. So let's see what's going on. Okay, well, I don't know what that was, but it seems to have calmed down. Huh. Yeah, this cargo container is, unsafe. Also, I did a poor job painting it. Let's just use some of you. Yeah, that'll be good. Okay. Well, I think the thing I was trying to figure out before everything went haywire, let's hope it doesn't do it again. How much power do I have? 25 minutes when thrusting. That's not ideal. I might be able to get a load in there, but I do still need to figure out some way to charge this. Maybe. So I've got the arm here. And now I have a rotor on the end. If I could use that rotor, I could try and connect that to a rotor part on some grid with power, and that could be how I recharge this thing. That would probably be smart, because then I have an easy time, I can hook up to it from most places because of the arm. I have control, so I can do it easily from the cockpit. Yeah. I should be able to just detach that little connector head, leave it somewhere, hook up to a charging apparatus, and then when I'm done charging, I detach from that, hook the little grabber back on, and go. It's like having multiple tool heads. I could do that. Now the question is, where should I put it? This base would be a good option. But the issue is this base is going to be going away. I could try and put it on here. How much power does this have? It's currently recharging 1 megawatt hour. Fully recharged in 18 hours. Okay. So it's about a third full. And it is recharging in the sun. I could maybe... If I move my, debris pile, I could maybe stick a second panel off this side, and that would give it even more charge. Though, hold on. How much power does the engine have left? It's doing pretty good. Maybe I build a temporary one on here. Because the downside with using one on this, I'll have to leave it plugged in for quite a while, and if I'm attacked, this is the defense. I don't want the hover barge getting shot up just because it's next to the gun. Plus, how I think I can do this, if I use a rotor, well, I'll have to use a rotor and then attach the small rotor head to it. rotors are not that expensive. I'll just be able to transfer it and then build a new one on the base inside, which makes sense because I'll want to have my vehicles stored inside anyway. Now, okay, so I can build it strapped right onto here. That should work. It's not the most elegant solution, but it should function. And we replace that with a small one. And then we get the parts for it. Attach another small one. And then just to save a bit of power, we turn that off. Okay. So now, yeah, that could work. Oh, except, well, no, I'd just be strategic. While I tear this stuff down, I can just go ahead, actually, hold on. Well, I can check. No, I can't because this is here. One moment. Ah, dang. So I can't attach it directly to the engine. Can I put it on top of the engine? I don't know because it might be attaching to the bed. Well, what's under... It's just, conveyors under the bed, if I'm right. Yeah, it's just a conveyor block. And that'll hold that all together. So what I can do... If I put that there... And then go outside... We'll do the same thing, but with it up there. That way I can tear down everything except for the engine, bed, and conveyor stuff there, and the engine will still run and provide power because it's got the hydrogen in it. So that's a way to make sure I use all that hydrogen and use it somewhere useful, where I before was just kind of using it because I decided to get rid of the renewables. Now the question is, where can I go to actually place this? Whoop. Oh, it's almost... There we go. It's a little bit more out of the way up there. But it shouldn't matter for the arm, because the arm can easily reach most things. Okay. Well, and since I'm going to have that mechanism, I need the controls for it. We can go ahead and have a third hotbar that controls the hand. And that I can use, so I'll have attach and detach. Then I will have increase velocity, decrease velocity, and reset. And then we'll have the hinge hand. Oh, I should maneuver things. Okay. So increase velocity, decrease velocity, reset velocity, hand toggle on off, then hand increase, decrease, and reset. That way, I can control the movements of the whole hand with this hotbar, as well as do things like attaching and detaching the little grabber. So let's go ahead and get into position. So this is about, I think, how I should do the cargo attaching. Is make sure that the first piston arm is vertical, I can control the distance in and out with the second one, but then I can control height just with the piston, and everything should stay nice and square, hopefully without touching in weird ways that make the physics of the world break, because that's always a pain. If we put that there and attach it, then we detach the head, bring that back up, and now we maneuver ourselves into position. I should be able to reach from there. Okay. So now you go like that. We'll go ahead and... Oh, right. I messed up the piston B. It needs a negative velocity. Yeah. So we'll kind of, I guess real quick, let's do the hand thing. I guess a better option would have been if I had a... Hold on. Just out of morbid curiosity. I have some steel plate. No. Okay, I could not have attached it down there. So my thinking is, had it been vertical, this may have been a little easier because I wouldn't have had to control the hinge. I could have just used the let it hang loose and then dropped the rotor and it all would have aligned to gravity. But that's not what we have here. Okay. So that there. Oh, now this may cause some unwelcome torquing around too. We should be clear enough that it won't cause too much issue. The benefit of this is we're connecting it to a something static. So it should be relatively stable. Ooh. That's a little tough to control sometimes. Okay. We're so close, but unfortunately, yeah, I don't think I'm actually going to be able to get it in there. Let's try. The downside with this machine is it doesn't have the ability to reverse, which does make it a little tricky to do fine alignments. Just gonna raise that up out of the way. And maneuver ourselves in nice and close. Okay. Now we should have a better chance of this. In fact, that's looking pretty good. If we just extend this out. Till it's about in position. Maneuver ourselves. Okay. Now Oh, nope. Nope. Okay, that looks good. I want it a little bit up, so if there is some torque, it pulls us up off the ground instead of pushing us into it. So I think there's going to be some torque. Okay, let's see what happens. Oh. Well, that was fairly painless. Okay. So now we're attached. We should be good. Let's put our battery... Oh, right, I'm still controlling the, I still have control over it. Which isn't quite right, but... should be fine. Do we have a group for our batteries? No. Also, one of the batteries is weird because it's named Special Content Power, which isn't right. So let's name you small battery, and then forward thruster. Okay. Oh, and while we're there, battery, warfare battery, hoverbarge batteries, make a little hotbar button. Yeah. So now I can recharge. And if we look at our main battery, fully recharged in 14 minutes. And I guess while we're here, I can look at the engine because we're now attached to that. It is losing fuel rapidly. Okay, the system may not quite work as intended. Well, I guess we know all of the energy is going into the battery. Maybe real quick, let's just get a couple of those and one of these. I'm right on top of here. Nice and out of the way. In fact, we could just stick it here. Doesn't have to be much, but we'll just slap a little wind turbine in. Because then once the hydrogen's gone, we should have renewable power to actually charge that thing, because I don't think it'll get very much charged as is. But hey, we found a way to use the hydrogen. And now that we're all hooked up, I think what I can do is go ahead and start tearing things down. Ooh. Now the danger with this, it's not going to be a super quick process, and it's probably going to involve not having a survival kit. Because once I take the survival kit off of here, I could go ahead and rebuild it immediately in there, but there's not going to be any power till I move the battery. I have to move the battery with that, which is going to have all the cargo on it from me tearing everything down. So, I'm just going to have to risk it and hope I don't die. Or try and find some way to briefly transplant this battery onto this whole system. Or not battery, the survival kit. Actually, I wonder if that may not count as a connection. Let's, what do I have on me? Nothing. Let's get some steel. And just build a little connection there. So if I tear down all this stuff, this is what's kind of taking up all the, or going to take up all the room. I can get rid of that last, right when I want to move the battery. Because in theory, how much is in... Yeah, I should be able to carry all that in my inventory. Hopefully. I can put some in the seat. Okay, I think this is ready. Let's go ahead. I think last step is to make sure everything on this base is in this cargo container. So in fact, let's go through We'll turn off the refinery and assembler, because we don't need them. Engine is now dead, so we don't really need it. This doesn't matter, but we'll turn it off too. Survival kit. Oh. We'll just turn off use conveyor system on it. So, the idea here is I don't want anything trying to pull stuff out of this cargo, like raw materials, while I'm trying to make sure all the raw materials are in this cargo. So, oh. Which looks like it worked. I guess I'd already moved a lot of stuff, so it was only what little stuff it needed to produce what I'd asked it to produce. Okay. Perfect. Now, we begin tearing down. That's interesting. I can actually carry all of that just in me. This one, it's not going to be as easy, and I need to get all this stuff off the back, too. Oh. Haha, that's funny. I forgot. That battery was on recharge, so I actually didn't have a survival kit. But everything else is more or less gone, except for what I'm using to charge this slowly. How much power does it have now? Still gonna take forever to charge. I'm charging it up, honestly. It ate through so much hydrogen so quickly, it kind of makes me think that the hydrogen for power thing might be kind of tough. I guess we can use it plus... This battery's completely full. How much? 3,000 kilowatt... 3,000 kilowatt hours in that. This one can hold 1,000, so I could fully charge it off the... There's one of them. I could fully charge it off this battery. If I have enough power to maneuver everything, I could move everything into the base, hook the battery up, and then I should be... Yeah, it'll take some power, but I should be able to recharge it off the base. And then not worry about it too much. But I do wonder, we'll see how much it draws. I may have to go ahead before it's too late and build the sort of wind towers out here that I'd thought about. Because I'm afraid I'll end up in a situation where I run out of power and then don't have what I need to get more power. Now, I guess worst comes to it, as long as I have a trickle, I can always bring ice, turn it into fuel, and go from there. I doubt I'll be able to see this fella. Yeah. Shame that the HUD markers go away. But all this fog is kind of masking where it is. It is getting a little closer, but it is relatively far off. We might be safe. Okay. Well, I think we'll just go ahead then. Goodbye, survival kit. I hope I don't need you. We'll go ahead and tear all of this stuff down. Take what power is already in here. The bright side is it only uses it really when it's thrusting, and it doesn't have to do that a ton as part of the design, so we should be okay. So, let's detach. Control our arm and bring it out of the way for now. Doesn't matter too much. We'll just go ahead and tear all this stuff down, throw it in. Throw whatever we can from the cargo container in. If we empty the cargo container, we'll throw the cargo container in. And then be on our way. Should have done this when I was up there. How are we doing? We've not even filled one container. Alright. Well, that's good. Though I think we're gonna fill it all before we get everything out of here. Right. So let's take as much of everything as we can. Dump it in. It'll be interesting to see how well this thing handles handles all the weight. Because it's gonna be, in fact, it's already kind of squatting down. I think I may have to increase the suspension strength at the front there. It really can take a bunch. I guess that's the benefit of using these big containers. Because if I'm right, each one of them has the same volume as the smallest large grid container. Which is pretty good. And I don't know how those compare to these massive containers. Obviously they have less volume. God, I'm like sinking. I think the front of the container is now touching. And we're also chock full. Okay. So, now, we get in, and we slowly adjust our front wheel suspension to where we aren't diving into the ice. And in truth, because I think the mid wheels are set to... Oh no, the mid wheels are set to 10. They can be 22. And then the rear ones I have at 40. So maybe I make these 30. No, I like 20. So the idea of this, I want them to have a little bit of give, so that if I hit bumps, they absorb the bumps without bumping me all over the place. But it's not quite like a car where I care about, you know, the actual friction they get. So they can be higher than normal. But I want, as I go over bumps, I want the vehicle to absorb some of it. Now, as I say that, maybe 30 is good. And the back just a little higher. Because again, it doesn't matter too much, and when I'm this heavy, it's probably a greater boon to be, have rigid strength to keep me off the ground. Oh boy. Yeah, it's not the lightest thing. Okay. 46 minutes of power, so that's pretty good, especially considering I'm taking the entire base in one trip, minus the battery. Now the question is, can I get in there? I think, as much as I don't love doing this, I think I need to get out a ways and get some speed up to make it over the hill. So we are very heavy. The downside of using a thruster, I always have the same amount of force regardless because, you know, I don't rely on wheels on the ground. But that means weight only hurts me because I don't get a benefit of grip because I'm heavy. Okay. We're okay. We are a little nose heavy too, which isn't great because there are bumps in here. Right. Let's just nice and slowly avoid the big pit. The eventual plan is to put steel plate all in here. And I'll actually probably start that a bit once I have all this built. Because that's probably going to be the best way for me to connect up to a wind farm up along the top of the cave entrance. Okay. That's a little ominously lit. But I should now... So if I dump all that in there, because it's just iron, I can dump this stuff too now. I should be able to pull all the stuff for all of this straight from this cargo container, get it all built and ready, transfer everything else into there, and then... then maybe I dump the container over by the big one. I can fill it up separately and test if I can lift it. But I want to move the battery as quickly as I can, because none of this will have power even though it's built. Okay. Away we go. Okay. That wasn't actually so bad. That's everything transferred. Let's go ahead and empty the rest of this out. Put it in the cargo, and then we're good. Oh, it's going to take forever to do. Yep, and I can't put it anywhere except this port because everything else is unpowered. This is where a connector would be real handy. I guess I have left room on this thing where if I want to put a connector on the cargo pod, I could. It's going to make it even longer, but there's already a good chance if I keep using this thing that I'm going to want to extend the length of the hover barge itself. I think that may be handy just in general for, you know, being able to carry larger salvage. Okay. So that's an empty container, a full base. Let's go ahead. Transfer, or I guess take off the... It's very hard to do this in the bumpy... Oh. The bumpy end affected my grip is still very high. Oh, look at that arm wiggle. We'll drop this off by the big container, get the battery, and then we should be able to get the base powered up at the very least. Hopefully I have enough for merge blocks. If not, we may have made a big goof. Yeah, that should be good. Nope, I don't get out anymore. Okay. So now we need to reattach our gripper. With the thing empty, I should be able to pick it up from where the gripper is, so I don't have to reposition it. I can put it by the cargo container. Nope. So we'll do that. Go over here and gotta put it to the ground and then release it. Okay. Now it's just a matter of getting things in position. Ooh. There is a slight danger here. I think we'll detach the cargo box. Because if I'm connected to it in both ends and there's any sort of pulling torque, I don't want it to cause me an issue. Okay, let's attach. There we go. There may have been some pulling force there. Who's to say? So now, if I raise this back up a bit, it will be off-center, which means it'll try and dangle. But the hinge kind of should hold it in position. Kind of extend it out this way over the side. Try not to maneuver ourselves. And then... whoa. As that tries to go up. I was trying to match it so that I was lowering down as the elbow straightened, but the elbow really straightens up quick. Okay. Just full extension on these. While we're at it. Whoa. See, unfortunately, any of the things where you control increasing or decreasing velocity, the velocity is insane. It would be nice if you could set the actual increase increment, but there's not really a way to. Okay, now we'll gently lower it down, detach it, assume that we've not damaged it too much. Never hurts to check. The plates don't matter too much. Hopefully they'll be able to absorb any blows, but as long as the containers are intact, that's what's important. Now, let's turn on our thruster and go for that battery. Oh, which are already kind of positioned to grab. So, I think I'll leave it kind of locked to the ground while I position myself to get it, which we aren't perfectly set up to do, but yeah, we got it. That way I've kind of got it in an easy position. Then I can detach it. Realize that sometimes physics doesn't understand that things have been detached. And use the convenient reality-altering technology built inside everything we use daily to make it work. Okay. Oh boy. Yeah, hefty battery, it kind of fights you. But I should be able to pull it in, get it on the deck, and then... oh. God, it's scary when things move quickly. Right. Lower it until it's kind of touching. Like there. Drop it. Lock to it there. Okay. So now we... oh. We make sure that we actually have friction off. It's much lighter than carrying an entire base in my pocket. Ooh, that could be dangerous. Now, where do I want to stick this? Maybe we'll hold there for a moment. Maybe there's plenty of room over here. Maybe I stick it on the end of these. So can I... You can't place stuff on the sides of an engine. Maybe if I... Well, actually, if I have a merge block here facing this way, a merge block here, there's no reason that I want the battery directly touching any of this stuff. And in fact, it may make it easier, because this is also a temporary piece of base. It'll probably make it easier if the battery is free floating, because then when I'm ready, I just take it off. I don't have to get rid of all the other stuff to be able to remove it. So let's do... In fact, if I'm doing that, I could stick it off here and just have it on a merge block all on its lonesome. You stick a merge block there, pick that up in the middle, and then it, quite literally, I can just unmerge it and pull it off like removing a battery. I don't even have to grind things. I have no idea if that's going to be any sort of useful, but it's a fun bit of capability. What I'll have to do... There should be... I think this is 2.5 blocks, more or less, of room. So it is going to be kind of cozy. I should be able to kind of wedge it in there. If I can get in real close. But maybe not that close. Well, I'm already that close. We'll just see what happens. The downside is I also have to well, no, because I'll grab it in the middle, so I should be able to spin it fairly easily. Controlling the crane. Let's extend this arm out until it's kind of in the middle of the whole mechanism. Oh. The camera angle's tough in here. Okay. So that's actually full extension. So if we lower that down, it's about the best we'll get. Lock it there. Should have probably unlocked it first. Whoa, no. Hold on. Yep, I think some of the magnetic plates were... Oh no, it may just be that it's really heavy. Right. Oh, and actually... Oh, it's not heavy uniformly. Of course, because the battery's going to have a lot more weight. Okay, well, we have control for this. So if I turn on the hinge and do that, I'll terrifyingly vibrate everything. And while we're here... No, no, no. Rotate you. Like so. God, I don't love how much everything jiggles. But I think that's about straight. Now, I'm gonna have to extend that out all the way. Also, this, if I want to try and get the reach, and even then I may not be able to get it in there. Yeah, I think I'm gonna need to try and drive it. Oh, this is not... Oh, okay, we're close. I'm glad I left room down here. This is not what I intended to do. Yeah, I have to get it higher. And then I'm gonna have to lower that. Lower that. Try and drive it. Oh, okay. Some terrifying jiggling worked. Right. So let's unlock. Let's control. Just lift it up and away. Oh. This could be a challenge. Because I can't reverse. I need to somehow fold my arm away. Okay, well, let's pull the long bit in. Actually, hold on. Oh. So I can lay it out like this. I have an idea. It's a little silly, but kinda rip there. Turn those off. And turn that off too. And push. Aha! We can sort of arm ourselves around. Okay, so let's do that. Yeah. Oh, in fact, hold on. If I... Okay. So if I kind of straighten that out, then we straighten that out, grip to it, I can then... Okay, hang with me. I can lift myself. And because I'm hooked to a grid, I can turn around. This is absurd. I love it. It's like those tricks you see people doing with digging equipment. Now, being able to see myself is a challenge. Right. Unlock. Thrusters on. Let's get out of here. Oop. Forgot about the pit. I'm really loving this thing. Anything... all vehicles and space engineers need to have controllable appendages. I think that's just critical. I mean reality. I don't see why anyone builds anything that doesn't have at least one arm. Okay. Well, so I didn't even comment or comprehend the fact. So the base is now powered. You can see the survival kit working, so I can now die freely. Let's go ahead and transfer the rest of this stuff. I'm probably going to have to make 2 trips of this. Because we have so much material. But I should be able to transfer all this stuff and then be golden. Yeah. So, I think that will be a good spot to end it. So yeah, that's progress. We are now... So, we're of course out of roleplay mode now. I'll probably, in between episodes, move the rest of the cargo, move the container. Nothing interesting will happen, probably. yeah, the next episode will, I guess, get the drill rig built to keep digging. And I have some interesting ideas for how I want to do that too that should be entertaining. So yeah, thank you everybody so much for watching. Feel free to check out any of the other stuff I've done. And until next week, bye bye.